Straight up gems.
It's a hard rock life. Work it out, yeah, yeah. Work it out like a gym. GEMS. Growing emotionally, yeah. Mentally, spiritually.
What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Straight Up
Gems.
I am your co-host, Marianne Reyes.
And I am Felicia Dunn.
And we are about to get into it. But before we do,
Yes.
let's do a heart check.
Heart check. We have to check in.
Yes.
Yes, for sure.
So today, what you do today?
Ooh, child, today was like a really like chill day, I would say. I was definitely preparing for the show, and I had some voiceover auditions throughout the day, but I did my devotional this morning. I ate some breakfast, and then I got into the flow of doing the auditions. And so,
Nice.
yeah, it was like inside of my booth and on the couch, and then going back in and then on the couch. So it was really chill today. I think I was in a good mood today. Yeah,
Miss
for sure.
Voiceover Queen herself.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So what about you? Like, how was your heart
Can
today?
I acknowledge my sis getting auditions though, back to back in
thank
this
you.
voiceover thing?
Thank you.
This is kind of new.
Yeah,
Like,
it really is. It's kind of fresh, actually.
Yeah.
Like, less than a year in
Come
it. So
on,
it's
that's
going
dope.
good. Thank you.
I remember when you were just getting like one at a time. You're like, yo,
Right.
and now it's like, just had like 10 auditions
It's
today.
It could be like that, but I'm just so grateful because I know it's just not me. You
Yeah.
know, just to say yes to like a gift that you didn't even realize. And it's crazy because we had an episode talking about insecurities, and
Yeah.
my voice was one of them, and I didn't even mention it.
No,
For real, I never liked my voice. Like I sound like a little
No
boy.
way. Oh,
and
you
like,
did
and I'm
tell me
already
that.
short. It's like this is just Lord. When you were making me, you were just like, okay, she gonna sound like a boy. She gonna be little. She gonna be
Shut
dark skinned and no boobs. Like I'm like, come on. Give me the goods. But so actually that's another thing, like just being able to turn something that I was a little bit insecure about into, what God wanted to use. Because I was like, this ain't my idea. This is not my
Yeah.
idea.
And that's
So-
crazy once you acknowledge it. Like once you get out of the cloud of like it being an insecurity, like
Right.
breaking through that,
Yeah.
that's when like God can really use,
Facts.
'cause
Because
what he created it for. Like he did that on purpose.
He did. Because the thing is like God will use the very thing that you don't want. Like how like Abraham was like, Lord, I can't talk. I need to, somebody has to come with me. And like God's like, no, I can choose
that
that
Moses?
one. Moses. What Bible have I
check.
been reading? The Bible of TikTok. That's what happens.
That's what happens when you scroll.
That's what happens when you scroll. You forget who you are.
Shut up.
Moses, yes. When God's like Moses, he calls Moses. And Moses is so insecure about who he is and just like the power that's already in him. And just to what you're saying about, God can use the very thing that you don't think can be used. And that's what he likes. Because then he's going to get the glory because you're not going to say it was you.
Yep.
So with voiceover, that's how it is. It's like I never would have imagined this would be something that I'm doing. And it's the very thing that I did not like that God was like, no, I'll use that you don't like.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's a master at that.
Come on. Yeah. So how was your day? How was your heart?
I had a really good day. So, meetings and stuff in the morning, but I think I told you I was making a card game.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got the sample in.
Oh, nice.
My first card game ever.
Yes.
First game ever.
Yeah, because I know you was talking about a board game, but
Yeah,
it's cards.
those are to come.
Okay. Come on, expansion.
But I did make my first card game, and
Nice.
it came in, and it is awesome. I did a whole product shoot for it.
Ooh, nice.
A whole like commercial, and like photography or whatever too.
Nice. That's what's up.
And at first I had a little anxiety because people were running late.
Oh, to get there.
And
That's the
I
thing. We
only
have to depend on other
accounted
people.
exactly. I only accounted for maybe 1 or 2 people
Right.
going to be late, but
It was more.
it was more. And then next thing you know, like, oh my God, the next group of talent that came in, yo, they killed it. One
Nice.
take wonders all
Oh,
the way.
that's what you
So
need.
we wrapped it like
Okay.
on time and got all of our shots. It was fun. And just to see the game in action, I was like,
That's
yo,
dope.
that was literally just in
In
my
your head. And now that's the best part. When it's
Oh
something that you
my
think about
God.
and that you actually manifest, like it actually comes about. It's just like that's the beauty of being the creator from the creator. I love that. That's dope. That's the
Crazy.
best. That's the best.
And then that's why I was like rushing. Sorry.
Yeah, guys, she was kind of late to come and shoot.
5 minutes early, but I should have been earlier. That's all I'm saying.
She was like, yeah, I'm about to leave. I'm like, sis, what? I'm a stickler for time. Like that is my jam. If me and Tom was on a date, I would be there. But yeah, so today's topic, we're going to be talking about how to like I want to say like the gap between like your faith and your dream.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
holding on to your faith and your dreams. You know,
Yeah.
like that is what we're going to be talking about today.
And the hard rocks that come along with it.
Child, don't it? Don't it come? Ooh, Lord. So what would you say for you and being able to hold on to your faith when life becomes a hard rock all in itself?
Y'all be making me shed tears internally. Like,
Internally.
y'all just take me back. All right. So let's go back. Rewind. One more time.
How do you hold on to faith when life is a hard rock all in itself? Like how life be lifing? How do you hold on to your faith in your like within pursuit of your dreams when life gets
Yeah.
really hard?
So automatically, as soon as you were saying like when life gets hard, it just took me back.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through like you just cannot even imagine. When I
Hey.
tell people, and look, my mama
know.
still don't know, so maybe I won't get into details.
Mama gonna be listening to podcasts like, what? Why didn't you call me?
Exactly that part. Yeah, so like from being homeless to losing my car to like when I tell you I paid off my first car,
Yeah.
when I made that last car note, oh my gosh, it's not like that car was repoed maybe like 4 times.
Oh wow.
I probably took like 2 times longer than I was supposed to pay it off.
yeah.
Like, yo, that thing put me through.
Jeez.
Oh.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so when I paid that off, it was like, man, it felt amazing. But yeah, like the hard rocks, that hard life, like when you're down and it's just like there is nothing, it comes to the point where it's like, man, what am I here for? How can I even
Right.
think about pursuing a dream
Right.
when I can't even get my stuff together?
Right.
When I can't even,
Yeah.
I can't even pay rent next week. You know,
Yeah.
like how can I even think of investing in a dream or even pushing forward in this dream? But then you're stuck between, what do you call it? Hard rock,
Hard rock in the what is it? Hard rock in a soft place?
Nope.
Jesus.
Hard place and a rock in a hard place.
A hard. Yeah. Guys, you know what we're trying to say.
Clearly, we had a long day. But yeah, because it's like you literally I uprooted my life to come out here.
Right. And coming out here is where? For the
From
people that don't know.
DC.
From DC.
Merlin, DC, Merlin, Virginia.
Okay.
So yeah, so I came. You know, I my whole life is here now. I've
Right.
been through a lot to get here, and to just say I give up and leave, that's just I'm
Yeah.
not wired like that.
Yeah, I'm not
so
either.
yeah, I'm gonna be homeless for a little bit. Yeah,
Right.
I'm not gonna have a car. I'm gonna take the bus and walk around
Yeah.
everywhere like a single female. Can you imagine?
Woo,
and I just
child.
look really like I just don't look like the rough
Like you'll
and
do
tough
anything?
person.
Yeah.
Yeah, but psh,
Come on.
because of that
experience.
experience, y'all
Yeah.
don't mess with me.
Come on. See? She said, like, don't mess with her. So what do you say is like, what do you feel like you have to hold on to during those times when it's like really, really hard? Like, do you call your friends? Because not everybody that will be listening to our podcast is in the entertainment industry. So these are people
Right.
that's probably going to a regular job or some entrepreneurs out there. Like, what is it that a person can hold on to when they feel like they just have nothing but rocks showing up to turn those rocks into gems? Like, what was it for you that kind of like shifted everything?
For me, it was my friends. my community, my
tribe.
friends. Yeah, and it only takes one or two.
Yeah.
For real. And yeah, being able to call on those people, and because a lot of times you forget.
Yeah.
You forget how talented and skilled you are because you're in such a low place. It's like, if I was so skilled and talented,
Why would I be here?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you need someone to know who's been there, who's seen you go through X, Y, and Z, like the same things before, or to know how talented and skilled you are. Firsthand experience to tell you in your face, like,
speaking life
yes,
back into
and
you.
speak life into you, like, so that was very helpful. Of course, my prayer life, knowing that there's a higher power, knowing that, like, all of this mess is not just for me to see, like, God sees this too.
Right.
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 When I have that realization that I'm not doing this alone, that literally someone who can make a difference out of this knows my situation.
Right.
And we're talking about it.
Right. Right.
There's no way his daughter that he loves, me.
Yes. Yeah.
There's no way he's
It can be
going to keep
personal.
me in this, hole. And I know that it's going to turn into a whole lesson. There's a reason why this is happening. But
Right.
if I just say F it and, like, whatever, I give up, then there's no lesson that'll come, like, out of it as far as giving him the glory after.
Right.
It's like, okay, I put you through this because I know you have the capacity to get through it. And then the other side is going to look like this, his promises.
Yeah.
And if you stick with it, you'd be able to give the glory and, like, really, really show what I can do.
Yeah. So what would you say would be, like, for somebody out there who may just be, like, solo right now? They really don't know what it is that, like, they don't even see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, what would you say to that person? Like, how, like, what would be some either encouraging words, or what would be, like, some like practical things that they can do to kind of, like, at least start to climb out?
Yeah. If you haven't yet, bawl your eyes out. It's fine.
That's good, because that is a part of the release.
Yeah,
so
release
that's really
it.
good. I
'Cause
like
all
that.
of that tension in you.
Yeah.
You're just gonna keep allowing yourself to go in this spiral and in this cloud, and it gets dark the more you just ignore it or resist it. But
Yeah.
remember, this stuff is happening for a reason. If you take it in that way,
Yeah.
if you take it like, okay, ultimately this can become a lesson. I know there's a brighter side out of it. I know I can get out of it, and you can switch your perspective. And this is the hard part. I'm saying it like it's easy, but it's not.
Right.
When you're in a hole and in a dark place like that, it's hard to think like that. That's
Yeah.
why community and everything is your friends. They're like real friends. They're very
Right.
important to speak life during this time, because it's hard to see it like that. But the
Yeah.
moment you get a glimpse of that life again, you're able to switch your perspective. That is key.
That's
That
good.
is-
Perspective is everything. to
Yeah,
me.
that's key
Yeah.
to, like, start coming out. Like, hold on to that perspective as much as possible. Hold on to that life as much as possible, because that's gonna help you to slowly come out. And then from there, if you can start praying, because I know when it's dark, it's hard to pray. It's
Right.
hard to, like,
You be like, God,
you're kind of like almost. It feels like you're ashamed, even though he sees it.
He knows what's going on.
It's like
right.
it's hard to, like, bring it up to him, like, yo. So about that blessing you gave me.
Right. Right. Mess that one up, Lord.
Mess that one up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to talk about it or bring it up. So once you get into that light, into that space, and it's gonna take little by little. It's not just gonna be like, boom, you're out, the cloud is gone.
Right. Right.
You have to make an effort, even if it's a little bit of an effort.
Just
Make
a little bit.
a little effort. Maybe it's writing out a plan for the day.
That's
Even if
good.
you do 1 out of the 10 things because it's that heavy.
Yeah.
At least you're like, you have to make that effort every day.
Right.
Decide to make an effort
That's good.
to not quit.
Yeah, that's good. Because
Yeah.
I know, like, with anybody who has, like, something that they are going after, like, not all the time is going. We want the path to be straight. We really want it to just be like, we're gonna go from here all the way over, and it's gonna be awesome. And it just does not happen that way. There's so much unexpectedness that takes place throughout the journey. I think that we tend to forget, like, there's already a plan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of times the hard rocks are they can be building blocks, and then they can also be molding your character because of where and who you're going to be when you get to your quote unquote there. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. So like you
That's
said,
good.
just not giving up, being able to change your perspective, like those are definite gems for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And turning it, okay, so my rocks at that time were, my situation financially speaking.
Financially is always a
and-
rock. Jesus.
Girl.
It's like
And then the rock of just like, I don't know, should I stay, should I go? Like,
Right.
that doubt.
Deciding, yeah.
Like,
The
I don't
doubt.
know, is God really going to come through? Because it's taking a long time here.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know where I'm going to get these magical funds from. you
right,
know?
right.
So that debate, like within myself, am I going to stay? Am I going to hold on to it? Am I going to go? Using that, turning that hard rock into a gem, I'd say the transformation from, like, financially speaking,
Yeah.
I'd say the transformation wise, yes, putting in that effort, visually seeing it that you are capable and you have the capacity to have that abundance.
Right.
Yeah, and getting out of that poverty mindset. That's
Mindset.
huge. I think
Yeah.
we should have a whole episode.
I think we
about
should
that.
definitely like an episode about mindset because that,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I think that's the hard rock that turned into a gem. Because now, like, having an abundance mindset, it's
Yeah.
like, yo,
Everything is gravy.
I'm a walking $1 billion.
Come on.
Because of my ideas.
Exactly.
And, like, everything. Like, you have to know that you
have to
have
know
the
it.
capacity for it.
Right.
You know?
That it was a quote when you said about that. Like Miles Monroe, he always says that like your wealth is in your ideas.
Yeah.
So if you know that you like everybody comes from the creator, so everybody has ideas, but that's where your true wealth lies. It's not in any physical thing or whatever, because everything that we see came from an idea.
Yeah.
So that is where your wealth is. And so whatever your situation is right now, if it's not where you want it to be, or you feel like you haven't like reached that place of like a financial threshold that you've been trying to reach or get through, knowing that your next big thing is it hasn't been thought of, or you have it in your mind and you just haven't moved forward in it. So yeah, I love that.
They say the wealthiest place is a graveyard.
Right.
You heard that one, right?
Yeah,
Like,
because of
people-
ideas, they just don't move
Yeah.
forward in them. And then that becomes like, like self-doubt, or, maybe just not thinking that it is even possible, or it sounds too crazy. You know what I mean?
That's the hard rock. This is
Yeah.
why this podcast exists.
Yes.
We have hard rocks. We don't want you to,
Just to
pass
let them get
with
the best of you.
greatest ideas.
Yeah.
Like whatever that hard rock is from self-doubt, whatever it is, like you got to deal with it, because that's the blocker from you going to the other side.
Facts. For sure. Yeah. And I would say like for me, like that whole holding on to your faith and your dream, it was like, I guess it really hit me like when my dad passed away, because we were like so close. Like that was like my best friend, like my everything. And so when he passed away, me being all the way in LA, away from, Texas, Houston, where I'm from, it was kind of like, why do I deserve to be out here going after my dream? For some reason, I don't know why. I don't know if it's just a creator thing that we think that our dream is so much different from somebody else who maybe works a regular job. It's just, I don't know, it just seems so not attached. And so for me, it was like, well, why do I get a chance to go after something that I really want, and here my family is like dying? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for me, it wasn't so much that I doubted God. It was more so for me, it was like, okay, this had to have happened for a reason, because it don't make any sense, because I had just talked to him, you know what I mean? Like 2 days prior, and just who he is in my life. It was like, well, God, why him? You know what I mean? It could have been anybody else. There's more people in the world that's doing bad, God, that you could have took, you know what I mean? And so it wasn't, I never really doubted being able to realize my dream. I think it was more so knowing that my dad had dreams. You know what I mean? And that was like, ooh, that kind of like, because he was a comedian. And so that's where I get my entertainment, background from. And so just to know that he wasn't going to be able to live his dream out fully, that kind of was like, ugh. that sucks. That really does suck. And so in that moment, like you said, it was perspective.
Yeah.
I did realize, I was like, man, God, me and you wasn't really chit-chatting like this because I would talk to my dad all the time. You know what I mean? So it was kind of like I had my earthly father in the place of where God is supposed to be in my life. Like me and God, we'll talk, but I'm talking to my dad all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he was my source. He was like my source if I'm like, okay, Daddy, I need a little money. You know what I mean? And so it was kind of like me making someone else be who God already is. And so in that situation, like that was a hard rock to lose somebody in your life on your way to where you quote unquote want to go as far as like reaching, your destiny or whatnot, and losing someone so close to you along the way, that you can either take one route of you let it affect you in such a way that it paralyzes you, or you use the situation as, okay, they're passing me the torch to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's how I looked at it. So from how you said about your perspective, it was like, okay, I had to look at this like, okay, Dad passed me the torch. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because since he passed away, so much great stuff has happened in my life. And I'm like, Lord, really? Like he couldn't be here physically to see what's going on? And it's crazy because the same year my dad passed away, I actually lived in China for 4 months. And 10 months after my dad passed away, my oldest brother passed away. Right. And I'm like, Lord, who gonna be at the finish line when I get there? Like, that's how it felt. I was just like, God, like, who's gonna be around? So for someone that's out there and you're like on your way to whatever it is that you're, going after, don't forget to really like be present in life now. Like, I'm such a thinker and such a person who thinks of like, I guess the beyond of life, that you forget that you're living life like right now. You know what I mean? And so when my oldest brother passed away and I'm out of the country, like I couldn't even come back to America for his funeral. And so it was kind of like, it was tough, but it really kind of like positioned me to want to relinquish the control that I had in my life. Like, I really was like, okay, well, I got to get this done. I got to make these moves. I got to do this, and this has to happen, and I'm going to make sure it happens. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when those two deaths happened, it was like, God, I done tried it my way. You know what I mean? Like, I done tried it my way. I tried to, do the hustle, like how society makes you feel like you have to hustle. And it really like allowed me to take another look at life and be like, well, what are the things that really allow me to be present? What are some of the things that I really just enjoy, and not make it all about where I'm trying to go? Mm-hmm. And understand, like, the sermon series now that I'm listening to is like, here is holy. Like, right now, you are where you're supposed to be. You know what I mean? And then relinquishing trying to do everything in your own might, because you will burn yourself out. Mm-hmm. And so, like, my hard rock was losing loved ones on the path to getting where I thought I need to be going, and understanding that the gem in all of it is you're not in control of anything. Yeah. And understanding also that nothing, including people, belong to you. Wow.
Oh, that's a tough one.
I know. It's hard. It's hard when you think about it, but when you have the mindset and understand that nothing belongs to you, you won't be so attached to stuff. Yeah. And it's not to say that you don't extend your love where you to your loved ones, or like your friends, or even your job or whatever. It's like when you relinquish control and you understand that none of it belongs to you, not your house, not your kids, not your money, not anything. Yeah. You won't be so possessive in trying to hold on to something that will one day not be there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That's so good.
You'll be
the hardest thing ever. Yeah. But once you can get when
you get to that place, because especially it really shows up a lot too in loving relationships with your significant other. When you understand the perspective that that person doesn't belong to you, you allow them to live their life freely, because you're like, you're not mine. Yeah. I can't make you do anything. I can't make you stay with me. I can't make you love me. Mm-hmm. You belong to God. Yeah. So when I understand that, it's like, you really take a lot of pressure off yourself. Like, you really do. Because you're like, you're not mine. It's like, you don't love less, but you love without condition. And even in your life, as far as like a gym, it's like you're able to live life without conditions. Your conditions are going to always change.
Yeah.
And the one remaining constant is that you're not in control of any of it.
Yeah.
But how you respond to it, that's the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do I respond when my circumstances and my situations are like not the way that I want them to be, not the way that I try to make them, but how do I respond?
Yeah.
Do I always get mad? Do I always have a temper tantrum? Am I always yelling? Do I get mean? Like, being able to know, like, okay, if these things are going to always be different and I can control them, the best thing that I can do as they are happening is respond different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your response, like even from taking offense to like,
Yeah.
these are all decisions. Having an attitude, that's your decision.
Yeah.
Like, these are the controllable things.
Exactly.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be like my gems, turning the hard rocks, because everybody loses someone. You're never expecting of it, especially when it comes to like your parent. You think they're gonna live forever. People are like, oh, shit, my daddy gonna be 199, so it's gonna be fine. He gonna see me get married. He gonna da da da. So and not everybody also has an experience where they are very close to their parents, and so it's just a matter of understanding that you can handle whatever happens to you. Because like you said earlier about you don't think that you are built for the hard rocks.
Yeah.
But the lesson is that you are strong enough that it wouldn't have been anybody else but you, and that you are stronger than you think you are.
Yeah.
And that sometimes you don't get to know until life hits you.
Exactly. And that's why God allows it sometimes.
Yeah.
Like even the hardest things.
Yeah.
God knew you was about to make this podcast.
Child, it's just like so much, like voiceover, like I'm saying, and like the hard things are definitely like your testimony, because you don't go through anything in life just for yourself.
Yeah.
There's always somebody else that you can share with that's going through the same exact thing.
For sure.
Yeah.
So this podcast,
Ooh, I feel like that was a lot.
growing emotionally, mentally, spiritually, we're trying to be as vulnerable as possible. I'll tell you, my car got repoed 4 times. I'll tell you, I didn't have it all together before. I'll tell
because
you,
no one does.
Yeah, like we're not here to front. We're here to keep it very real so that we can actually help. Because if we can't turn back hands of time and do it differently, the most we can do is help you guys before y'all run into that hard rock and make a tough decision or a mistake or whatever,
For sure.
Misstep.
For sure. You guys can always email us at our email address, which is
info@straightupgemspod.com.
So until next time, guys. Thank you so much for listening to your 2 favorite Capricorns. I'm Felicia P.D. Dunn.
And I'm Marianne M.A. Reyes. Be sure to rate, leave a review, and subscribe to our show.
You can connect with us on socials at Straight Up Gems.
Or email us at info@straightupgemspod.com.
Until next time, we love you, sugar.